Yeah, yeah. You know, I my mom passed away when she was 82, and you know, really, it's like her. Did you go by yourself or? Oh, okay, that's good. You can see a family there too. Oh, I know, it's really not easy. What's he doing there? A lot of people in church. No, it's nice to see them too. We're so little at one point, we're so big now, so mature. We're about to have the young kids, so. Well, and that's what happens, right? The young people, they come to the Sunday school system and the church system. Then there's that gap when they sort of move off on their own. I'm just saying, lots of things to do, that's for sure. Really hot, but it's like hot but muggy, like, what's his thing? Well, you had all that and you were having snow. Wait, you make good sandwiches.
Jay, are you gonna set up here too?
I'll sit where you want me to sit.
What do you want to do?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, well, I'm sitting in the front.
I'm gonna like the Christ-like color.
That's a lot of people. Okay, well, looks like great.
Are you gonna sit up in front or are you gonna sit up here?
Yeah, no, I need somewhere.
Okay.
Is it okay if I sit with you?
Yes.
I don't mind.
You can use this one, and I'll take the cordless and run around if people want to talk.
You guys are coming back, right?
I could sit at Raymond's little table.
No, it's not very sturdy. It's not very sturdy.
Oh, is it? Oh.
It wobbles and right.
Oh.
You're staying?
We're ready.
Perfect.
Do that? A little bit. Thank you.
Oh, okay.
And you?
Everybody.
I think you should have put the refreshments at this end so they can't see that.
That's a really good point.
No, I'm just teasing.
Hope we need.
So Jane, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good.
Good.
It's the first day since I started with eye drops that I haven't done.
Nice.
It wasn't really bad. It was the little thing. It was at the end of the day.
Headaches are the worst thing, you know? I mean, I could cut my finger and, you know, it could hurt, but I had a headache. I'm not a baby.
So, it's all good. I still have one more test.
Oh, yeah. All's good, though.
They rolled out the really scary stuff. So
That's amazing. Well, how does Leslie?
Leslie's always bright of spirit. Leslie's always bright of spirit. But she's not ambulant.
You know, have they figured out what it is?
It's complex for her. And so, you know, I'm sure there are some discouraging. I'm not speaking for her.
Oh, yeah, no. Oh, no.
But, you know, she's been there a lot longer.
Yeah. But you need, you know, you need to good place to be, right?
Yeah, they have to, but they just, you know, they gave her the first bed that was available, so she's on the floor.
Oh, yeah.
So that's just. Hey Joyce, can I bring you a little table? Because put some coffee on the table for you. Treat you like, we'll treat you like the queen bee.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we can treat you like the queen. Are you good, or do you want me to get you a table? Okay.
Get those two last, and then we're good to go.
Just let no see.
Wait, what's our quorum? What do we need for quorum?
I was just telling you. Are you okay? Yes, hi, we have met in person. And Robert. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Good.
So, in the morning, we're going to sign because I think when that this were done. Yeah, the reason I sort of thought it was because we said, oh, she'll be next year.
You good? I double checked. She was.
No, no problem.
Didn't I see Wendy? Oh, Wendy here?
Okay, just so y'all know, Wendy Keenley's side just put me on notice. She said, Jay, I'm bringing a bigger jar. I'm like, what are you talking about? So apparently our food bank jar is overflowing. Yay!
Great
job.
news.
Good job. I know that means we have to keep filling it up, Robert, right? We have to keep filling it up. You know how this works. Wendy! I'm known as the more subtle minister in this region.
Is Raymond coming? Welcome everyone to the 2022 AGM. Leslie's online, is the only person I know of that's online.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie.
Hi, Leslie. There is, I guess I better make sure it's on. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, Chanson's there too.
Leslie, they cheese and tea here.
Eat one for her.
But no egg salad sandwiches. That's Leslie's favorite thing.
I know, but I took some treats to her yesterday. And any of you want to take Leslie treats, she will happily receive them from you.
So Chanson's on there too. I don't know who's with Chanson. So we actually have a membership of 19 plus a bunch of adherents. So in terms of members here today, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have enough for quorum.
You counted me?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, plus online, so I know there's at least 2 more in there, so 13
13
of 19
okay.
members.
So that makes 6. Okay.
All right, so I call this meeting to order. Reverend Jay, can you lead us with an opening prayer, please?
Jesus said, "Let your light so shine before others that they may see your good works and give glory to God." And our good works are fueled by the presence and the work of the Spirit. And so we pray. Holy God, we sit here with some humility and vulnerability, knowing that it's been quite a year. It's been quite a year indeed. For the first 2 months of 2022, we couldn't meet in person, and now we look at how easily we gather around tables of abundance, both in human relationships and food and in so much more. We give you thanks for a year where you have clearly provided for our needs, helped us meet challenges, and long to bless us into the future. And so we give ourselves over anew to you today as Marpole United Church. We ask that you would guide us, speak to us in ways that we can hear you, and soften our hearts and our minds that we might follow you. We pray this in the name of Jesus the Christ. Amen. When we gather, we never gather alone, just us. When we gather and a minister of word, sacrament, and pastoral care is present, that's me today. I'm blessed to be able to be that today. It means you gather with the whole of the church, the wider church, with you, the spirit of the church that shares your prayers, that shares the work, that shares the same spirit. We also gather in the presence of that which we call the great cloud of witnesses, those who have gone before us. In this last year, we've blessed on his way your beloved Alan Moody. I did not have the good fortune of meeting Alan in person because it was pandemic time and I couldn't meet him in person, but we did talk on the phone, and I know of his affection for you and that he felt your affection for him. So along with Joyce Syme, Alan Moody now resides among the great cloud of witnesses. And we trust in God's great mercy that that life beyond this one is one even brighter and better and bigger than even their imaginations at one time carried. Thank you, God. Hold them dear as we have held them dear. In the name of Jesus Christ, we ask this. Amen.
Has been the tradition of all our previous meetings, we've had a motion that all present may vote on all matters except for ministry and personnel and property issues. Only members can vote on those things. Do we have someone to move this motion?
The motion is to grant corresponding privileges.
Technical term. Okay. Do we have a seconder to that? All in favor? Perfect. Carried. Does everyone have an agenda? You guys have an agenda?
Leslie, I'm doing the minutes for you. I know you were probably sitting there doing them, but I'll take them for you today.
So do we have someone to move the agenda as printed for the 2023 AGM?
Robert?
Do we have a seconder?
Abigail?
And all in favor of this agenda? Perfect. Carried. So yesterday you were mailed out the minutes from last year. Did everyone get a copy of the annual report? I have 4 extra ones if anyone needs them. Anybody else want a copy? The back of the package was the meeting from last year. So do I have someone to move the adoption of the minutes from last year? Yes. Oh, perfect. Joyce, do we have a seconder? Or Linda?
Oh, Joyce and Linda, okay.
All in favor of adopting the minutes from last year? Carried. Is there any business arising from the minutes? Okay, if there's no business. So in the package was the ministry and program reports. So we're going to deal with all of them at first, except for the financial reports. So do we have a motion to accept all of the reports printed except for the financial ones?
I move.
Do we have a seconder?
I second.
All in favor?
Mr. Chair, we need to have discussion. Are there any questions about anything?
Okay. Is there any questions about any of the reports that were submitted? So where Linda submitted a report and Diana did. All in favor of accepting those reports? Carried.
So it was worship.
Yeah. So I'll transfer the chair of the meeting to Diana, and I move that the financial reports printed in the annual report be accepted.
I'll second that.
Mr. Chair, Madam Chair, does that mean the budget as well, or is it just the reports?
We will do the budget separately.
Thank you. Just want people to be clear about that.
Excellent. Okay, I will talk about the financial reports. Do you want to ask the question first, or?
Just maybe you could deal with it in yours. I'm wondering about the Memorial Fund. It doesn't appear any place in the report until this last page. And I've asked sort of every year about it, and I want to ask again. Just tell me what state it's sort of.
Okay, I will do that.
So 202 first. 222.
So financial reports. So last year, we had called for a deficit of a minus 44,000 and it came in at minus 22,000. I think everyone, so our envelopes are about the same. Our biggest financial support is through the biggest income we have is through our rental groups. So the Montessori, which is, and they're here all year except for 3 months. They take the summer off. So Montessori is around the $50,000 mark. We have the Vancouver Chinese Christian Gospel Church that meets here on Sundays at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. So they're here. They just went through a little change in some of their leadership. Sounds like there's about 20 of them at that. We also have Vansing here. They're meeting randomly. They're finally back after COVID. They're meeting here on Monday nights, but it seems to be like once a month. And then the Girl Guides have been here as well. Those are our major renters. Those are a major source of our income. So last year it was a total of $62,000. And when you look at all our other contributions from all of us, that was about $25,000. So we are very dependent on our renters. The renters do want to stay here. There's no issue with them wanting to leave. The Montessori is incredibly happy here. It is an important part of the community to have the Montessori here, and we want them to stay here as long as they can. I think it would be a big loss if they had to move somewhere else. And they love the church and they take care of it. They do more for the church than I do in terms of the building and stuff. They're spectacular. In terms of costs, everything has been sort of on budget or under budget. Of course, the biggest salary we have is the minister's salary, and then we have the regular costs of running the building, hydro, all that heat and stuff. So minus 22,000 was last year. It's gonna be very similar this year, is where we're at. We are down to our last $25,000 of money. We also have a plot that we're going to sell, which will give us additional money as well on top of that. So we're down to our last probably $40,000. And then Irene is getting paid half by us and half by St. Stephen's, if no one knows that, just to understand what's happening there on the finances. So yeah, we're splitting that 50-50. And then we've had Leslie in the office, but Daniel over at St. Stephen's been doing more help to support JM, what she's doing. But we haven't been paying for that at this point. So that's generally what happened this year. It's pretty consistent with what we've had every year. We are down, we're down to the last 25. Of that, $20,000 is a memorial gift that was given to us to go towards children's activities. So that's the $20,000 you're talking about.
Okay. And that's with a couple of other bundles of money that sort of stay on the books until.
Yes, on that $20,000, yes. So that's where that is. The bookkeeper, Dennis, knows the true intent of what that memorial fund was from, or who donated it, and what the reason for that fund, or how we can spend that. So Dennis will help me understand that when the time comes for that.
Was it an in memoriam? Was it a memorial fund?
Not that I'm aware of. Dennis is the only one that knows where that money came from and the intent for that money. That's how I would answer that question.
Yes, because I remember it was went down to zero before.
Yes.
Before that.
And someone donated a large chunk of money, yes. So for this, is there any questions about the finances for 2022?
I have one.
Yes.
Can you tell us if there were any expenses that went higher than you anticipated? For example, what happened with church insurance? Insurance everywhere went through the roof.
Yeah.
Did that happen for us too?
We predicted 13,000, it went to 14,000. So everything's going up. There's inflation going on, right? And every year I add more money onto the budget is how I've been doing it, to make sure we cover that. The council did review these and got approved by the council, so we did follow the procedure on that. Any other questions about 2022 in terms of our finances?
I'm sorry, the final total at the end of 2022 is?
Minus 22,800.
No, in the bank.
About
balance is
25,000, yeah.
Okay.
Any questions about the financials?
Could I have a motion to accept the 2022 financial report as presented and written?
That would be me.
Moved by Greg, okay, seconded. It's already been moved and seconded before we discuss it. All in favor? Oh, we have a question back there, Raymond?
No, I got
Okay. Good?
yeah, it's good.
Okay. All in favor, sorry. All opposed? Okay.
Okay. The budget for 2023. So maybe I'll sum up how we propose handling this. So we're down to the last of the cash. The budget that's been presented to you today, I guess I should move it first. I move to accept the proposed budget for 2023 as written in the annual report with an operational deficit of minus $34,000.
Do I have a seconder? We will discuss it once it's been moved and seconded. That's how Robert Rules of Order does. Okay, seconded Joyce Anderson. Just remember, you can move and second it and have your name put down, and then whoever reads the minutes will know you were here. So we don't just see the same people approving. Okay, take it away, Brett.
Okay. So let's get real about where we've been. So over the years, we've watched our cash dwindle. We're now at a point that we are going to be forced to make decisions. This is the year that we have to decide what to do. Reverend Jay has done some meetings. The intention is to have further meetings to this. So this year, this meeting is about dealing with 2022, approving a budget so we can keep going forward. But there will be further meetings on the discussion of how we're going to move forward and the financial realities to those. We will have a special general meeting. As of right now, Reverend Jay is with us till the end of July or end of June?
End of June.
End of June. So her appointment with us is to the end of June. So everyone knows she is interested in staying with us, but our financials do not allow us to do this. In this budget that I am putting forward has included money to keep Jay on till the end of the fiscal year. So I've taken her salary and I put it to our half that we pay. I put it on this till the end of 2023. We are going to have to figure out, and I'm speaking on behalf of you guys, but we do want to stay together. I've heard it continuously. We want to be a family. We want to stick together. Where it is, we don't know, and how we do this, we still don't know. We need to figure that out. We're now at that point in time that we must figure it out. I have proposed a budget based on her staying till the end of the year. Our reality is this, even staying till the end of the year, that would probably come in at about -20. So we shouldn't have to, I don't believe we'll have to touch that memorial fund. I think it's all going to balance out. But we are going to have to make some decisions. Today we have an open conversation, but we don't really need to talk about that today. That's going to be for a future. We're not going to make decisions on that today. It can be brought up, we can talk about it, but it's not, we'll do a special general meeting to decide on our future in terms of ministry and how we want to move forward. The reality is, if you take out the ministry's salary, we can't really have church without her, but the building will stay here, and the United Church of Canada won't accept it long term, but the Montessori, they could continue on. So it's not like we're going to go bankrupt. That's not a reality. We wouldn't be able to pay for the ministry. The minister passed, well, the end of the year as I've written it, but her contract is up. So we got to decide what we're going to do. And for her, because she needs to understand what we want to do so we can make decisions going forward, and she can make some decisions going forward. But rest assured, she is open to us staying with us. So that's the exciting news. In terms of slashing stuff in our budget, there's not really much left to slash. We are running this as tight as we can. There's nothing else we can really cut back. Our expenses are the expenses. I guess we could turn the heat off on Sundays and everyone could wear jackets, but hey, we're not going that route at this point. So I think we're fine. So the budget as presented, we will not run out of cash. We cannot go into a deficit. We are going to be fine till the end of the year. We do have to sell that cemetery spot.
Now, if any of you are looking for the opportunity to plan for your future, we do have a wonderful plot at Forest Lawn. So if you know of anybody who may be in need, or you're thinking and planning for the future, please contact the church as we can look after you in the hereafter. Was that good enough, please?
That was a good sales job.
I already have one. Somebody will express an
Yeah, she's got someone that's expressed an interest.
Oh, okay.
So it's at Forest Lawn on the new west side. I don't even know what that means. I noticed that this morning. So we are going to sell that. We need that cash. Is there any questions about the proposed budget for 2023? Yes.
Not a question, just a statement. I just wanted everybody to know I am not uncomfortable with this conversation. Okay? I know it has an impact on me. I work for the church. I work for the church forever. I get this. I know how this works, right? And so after meeting with John and Greg together, the three of us determined, let's finish the business for 2022. At the end of this meeting, then you can ask any questions, share any ideas you want about the direction you think we should go, but there will be one other gathering later in the spring. That'll be a formal congregational meeting where you will have to make decisions about the structure and the nature of this church and your partnership with St. Stephen's, and a formal decision around pastoral leadership, which may or may not have anything to do with me. I'm a big girl. It's okay. All I'm interested in is that you make the right decision for this ministry, because if it's right for the ministry, then it's right for me too. Is everybody clear about, are you clear about the process? Like, I don't want anybody to leave here freaking out like, oh, we didn't make all the decisions we need to make. You will. And we're gonna need you all there to make those decisions. And I don't think there's anything to be afraid of. There's nothing, you all have had enough experience with life. You know there's nothing to be afraid of. It's going to be all right.
Thank you. Any other questions on the finances for this year?
Me?
You can call for a vote.
Okay, I'm writing too. Okay, hearing no further questions, I'm calling for a vote for the acceptance of the proposed budget for 2023. All in favor? All opposed? Carried. Okay, what's next?
I guess I'll be the,
Are you doing the trustees?
yeah, I'm the trustees.
Okay.
You'll stay, okay.
We're now going to have the trustees report.
So the trustees, so as everyone knows, Gordon has moved back to Ontario. So the trustees are Joyce and myself. I did talk to, or emailed Raymond that he would join us as well. So he has said yes. So we are hopefully going to vote him as a third trustee. The trustees' role, for everyone to be clear, is really the trustees are responsible for the building itself, I guess is how you would describe it. The property. We're responsible for making sure the insurance is in place. And if one decision was to make to not be at this church anymore, we would have to deal with the church and how that's all going to take place. So that's trustees.
Do we need to have, I think, a formal motion, particularly for Raymond's trusteeship?
Yep, we'll do that on election account. Yep, perfect. We'll do that. Yep. So that's the trustee report.
There's no formal report as there's no formal access.
Well, the churches.
Yeah.
The building and property. Yep. Okay,
I now pass the chair back to Greg.
Okay, election of council. This is where we do. So, so Diana and myself have been the co-chairs, and the members at large have been Leslie and Orlinda. And then Reverend Jay makes up the other person on the council.
And Gordon was on.
And Gordon was on the council but resigned when he moved back to Ontario. As you guys know, Leslie's been in the hospital. She has agreed to stay on the council. Everyone else has agreed to stay on the council. Is there anyone else that's interested in joining the council?
I think you should give him a sales job.
Well, let me tell you, the pay is amazing.
And the friendships?
Did you talk to Wendy?
Wednesday wasn't mine.
Wendy, are you interested in joining the council?
We voted that you were.
We want you to.
Thank you.
In other words, are there nominations from the floor?
So, I guess we're nominating Wendy to be on the council.
Well, we need to start with the co-chair and go through them, even though they're within the room.
So on the council is nominated Diana, myself, Leslie, Erlinda, Wendy. Is there anyone else interested in being on the council? Meng, are you interested in being on the council? Okay. Anyone else?
Did Greg not give you a good enough sales job?
You sure you don't want to think about that, Meg? He's like, no.
Meng, there are a lot of fine opportunities.
Sherry, you interested in joining the council?
I'm thinking
okay.
Sherry's going to stay on M&P Good for you.
Okay. Okay. So it's not a very burdensome job. We don't have a lot of meetings. We figured out how to make this as efficient as
You
possible.
just have to deal with the troublesome minister.
Yeah. So
And we do it on Zoom, so you don't have to go out.
what's the technicality here?
Okay,
we
so
need to
Somebody
nominate.
needs to move the
First, we
slate.
gotta start, okay. So the following people have agreed to let their names stand for co-chair, Diana Smith and Greg Bertram. Are there any other people interested in being considered as co-chair, and one of the other two may step down? I asked her first
We're not
time,
letting anyone step down.
I asked her a second time, third and final time. Hearing no other nominations, I now declare Diana Smith and Greg Bertram co-chairs. Congratulations, Greg. Okay, now we call for member at larges.
Member at larges. So we have Erlinda and Leslie. Does anyone else want to be?
I move Wendy be added.
Okay, perfect.
You have to call 3 times.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, nominations from the floor for a second.
Is there a seconder or just more nominations?
More nominations.
Are there any more nominations for members at large? Going for the third time, is there any more nominations for a member at large?
Hearing none, you declare the following people.
Hearing none, I declare the following people: Erlinda, Wendy, and Leslie.
No, we need to vote
And-
on the slate. We need to vote on the whole slate. Now nominations are closed, now you vote the whole slate.
So we need to vote on,
These names now. Leslie, Linda, Wendy.
and that's it.
Hmm?
And those 3. So we need to vote on those 3. Leslie, Erlinda, and Wendy being members at large as part of the council. All in favor?
Anyone who doesn't raise their hands will be added to the list.
Oh.
See,
Okay, we'd like to congratulate those members.
okay, the appointment of board of trustees. So there's myself, Joyce, and Raymond. So is it,
No, Raymond we're adding, right?
we're adding, sorry,
Current-
yes.
the Current, and so they're going to.
So we'd like to add on Raymond. Is there any other nominations from the floor?
Going once.
Going once. Is there any more nominations from the floor? And for a final time, is there any more nominations from the floor? So all in favor of Greg, Joyce, and Raymond being the board of trustees? All in favor? Carried.
Yay!
So the M&P committee. So that is Sherry, Wendy, and you're on that, correct?
Wendy's coming on to the MMP. Right, Wendy?
No, she's already on the M&P.
Well, you were already on it, did you know that?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So I reached out to Arlen. She's declined to be on the MMP for now. The word being now. So yeah, she is not going to do that this year. So we have Diana, Sherry, and Wendy. Is there any other nominations for the floor for the Ministry and Personnel Committee?
Let's see. Don't put your head down, I can still see your eyes. How about one of the young ones?
Well, we should nominate Chanson since he's online and can't say anything.
Grown-ups are supposed to set a good example here today.
I didn't say I was grown up, just the
We
size.
got the 2 youngest kids in the church up here.
Okay, for the third time, is there anyone else to add any more nominations for the Ministry and Personnel Committee? So all in favor of Diana, Sherry, and Wendy being our Ministry and Personnel Committee? Carried.
Yay!
Right. So we got a team of people. Do we need any other thing? Oh, Worship Committee.
Worship.
So last year was Meng and Erlinda. Do we have anyone else to nominate to be on our Worship Committee?
I'd like to have one of the youth on it, the teens. Would that be appropriate?
Well, you have to ask them if they'd like their name.
No, I know, but.
Of course, it's always
Yeah,
appropriate.
okay.
Also, teens who are full members of the church can be elected to the council as well. So, just so you know, eldership is a state of being, not a state of one's age.
Mhm.
Do we have any other nominations for the Worship Committee? Jade and Jerome?
Jaden, would you like to Jerome?
They're already whispering to me, we are busy guys.
I still say we nominate Chance, and he's not here to defend himself.
Actually, it's a great opportunity because we do need younger people providing their input, because if we keep going with the same people over and over again, we really don't get any growth and new input. That's right, I'm going to give him another nudge, that's good. So no, really, I'm really saying it's really important to get more input from everybody. I mean, I came on when I was 40 and now I'm 40 plus. And I came on because people were tired, and now I'm at the point where I'm getting tired, and we have to start building more people to be involved, and that's by getting younger people around the 40-ish to do that. So, or younger. So it's really important for growth, because Greg has been sitting in this chair for many, many years now, and I've been on the council since 40. And so, you know, we need to have that growth. By having growth, it brings in new people, and new people brings in more members, and more members start to shape the church as the younger people feel. Otherwise, you're going to get us old folks' ideas over and over and over again. So think about it. No pressure. No pressure. So if you're interested, see Orlinda or Reverend Jen.
Yeah, and I mean, I want to say too, as we think about this, look around at all the people who contribute here every Sunday. You know, and you guys, Jerome, Jaden, Chanson, I know you're there. You all put up with me really well, that you know the minute I set eyes on you on Sunday morning, I'm going to need your help with something. And you always step up. And it's not just because, oh, let's get the token teenagers.
No.
That's not it. It's because you are who you are, and you have gifts that help lead worship, and that matters, okay? So you might feel like the token kids here. You're more than that for me, and you're more than that for all of us. Meng has attended every worship committee meeting possible, even when it's 5 a.m. in the morning in Vietnam or somewhere. He's with us and helping to plan on Sunday. And Orlinda and I are just in a flat out race every Sunday morning to see which one of us can get to church first. Because I'm absolutely confident that if something happened and I couldn't get here on a Sunday morning, you're in good hands with her. And so many more. Wendy and Sherry and Clayton and so many more. So please, for those of you who think, well, you know, all I do is read scripture on Sunday, please don't forget what I'm saying. It is critically important, and we thank you for that.
So we have all nominations.
We have a question from Orlinda.
I know Wendy is already on MNP committee. Can we still add her for the worship committee?
Wendy, are you interested in being on the worship committee? But you're on the council and
Emmett, yeah, we don't want to,
too many, okay.
yeah, stay where you are.
So none of these are exclusive clubs. If you would like to join, come to any of the council meetings, it's wide open. Please join us. Yeah. We all, and even I recognize how Orlinda and Mang are shaping the worship, but if you got ideas, it's all about we talk to them and they're getting things in action. So, and same with council. We are representing you guys. So if you got thoughts and stuff, make sure you tell us. If you have complaints, tell Diana.
And the M&P committee and the worship committee are joint committees with St. Stephen's. So even though they look here like there might be 2 people, it's a larger team. And so the setup that happened for us Christmas Eve, where the arrangement got changed and the candles on the floor and all that, came from both St. Stephen's and Marpole people. So that work's being done jointly, and that's a good thing.
Okay, so we have 2 on our worship committee. All in favor of Meng and Orlinda representing us on the worship committee?
Yes.
Carrie.
And please remember, if you change your mind, you're always welcome.
So open conversation. Pardon?
You want me to leave that?
Sure.
Okay, so you heard from Greg. You remember the table talks we did? How many of you remember the table talks? We had 2 table talks where we were talking about how this experiment was going. This experiment of working jointly with St. Stephen's. Right? Can I share the corner of your table here?
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, there you go.
Clayton, there's a race over the rice cake here. And so it was there when we talked about how's this experiment going, because you're going to have to make decisions about the future. I mean, if for no other reason, you've heard the financial report, right? So there are certain realities that are going to force you into some decisions. And I wanted you to be ahead of those decisions and not have them happen to you, right? So out of those table talks, both here and at St. Stephen's, what I heard back in those talks were overwhelmingly positive comments. Like people are now just automatically and naturally thinking about their relationships with people from the other church, right? So 2 of the people from St. Stephen's will say to me, oh, you know, I haven't seen Erlinda today. Is she all right? From that church, they're asking here. And from here, there. Somebody will say, oh, John, Wendy's here, but John's not here. Is he okay? So overwhelmingly positive. You have already bonded. You already have relationships. The best comment, I think, that articulated all of that was when one person said, from this community of faith, who will go nameless, said, yeah, that's you. Said it was kind of like discovering we have second cousins and we've been reunited with second cousins. That's what it feels like, right? So the question then is, let's set the pastoral leadership question aside, because it's not about me, it's about the church. You know, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? What are you wondering about in terms of what's possible starting July 1? Right? Let me give you a little tease. When I met this year with a group of younger people in a confirmation class, I said to them, they worked on their own statements of faith, explored their own faith, and how that faith stood up next to the beliefs of the church. And then I said to them, so okay, right now the statement of faith or the job description for Marpole United Church, this is what they wrote. We believe in Creator God who blesses us with and through creation. We believe they watches over us. They now, whether you're uncomfortable with it or not, is really quite irrelevant, because younger folks are using that, what some of us understand to be plural, as singular, right? Rather than gender specific as they. So we're not talking about multiple gods. We're still talking about one God. We believe they watches over us, cares for us, listens to us, guides, loves, and is always there for us. No one is alone. We believe that God took saving, liberating action through Jesus, reconciling us to God and to one another. We believe God does not condemn us, but loves us. We believe we are led through life on a complicated path. As teenagers already know how complicated it is. God intends diversity in creation and works in and through us all. We believe that God calls us to follow God's leading and God's commandments, to honor and embrace our God-given diversity, to pay attention to creation with appreciation and respect, to forgive, to help, to care for others. You guys hearing your own words in this? You wrote this. To lead with humility, kindness, and honesty, to seek justice and resist evil, to trust in God. We yearn, that's their language, not mine. We yearn for the warmth of love and happiness in this world. We believe in hope, the power that keeps us going, and in kindness which binds us as a community. let God be our guide. That's one heck of a job description, don't you think? So that's how our younger ones see us and what they long for us to grow into. So the question is, with your limited financial resources, your numbers, your relationship with St. Stephen's, now let's talk for a minute. Share what you think is possible. What is it that God might be calling us to? And if you're not sure what to say, let's go to the extreme. Is God calling us to close the doors on both churches and we all go somewhere else? Or do we start something new? Or do we build on this relationship? What does it look like? And anybody can jump in and start. And please remember, we speak for ourselves and we hold with respect somebody else who might speak a different opinion than that.
Sure.
So what do you think? What's possible? What do you think about with this? Yeah, Joyce.
Well, I think one of the biggest decisions we're going to make, along with all the others, one of the biggest decisions we're going to be making, along with all the others, is the building. And I've been a member here for a lot of years, and I will say I happened to sit this morning in the chair, looking down at the plaque in the chair in front of me with my husband's name on it. So I have a close feeling about this. And interestingly, 3 girls who were older at the point that we moved to Marpole, so they haven't had a continuous Sunday relationship sort of thing with Marpole. But I will tell you how much Marpole is held in their hearts. So it's not going to be an easy decision, but I'm certainly, from our family's point of view, is knowing that we have to move forward, and I'm certainly comfortable with us making a decision that involves what we do with our churches. My hope is that we will keep the presence of the United Church in this part of Vancouver. And I know Val fought long and hard for that, and I would like to see that continue. But whether it's in this church building or the St. Stephen's Church building does not matter to me, one way or another.
That's awesome. Anyone else want to add to that? Any thoughts? I think there's still lots of possibilities with this church staying. United Church needs representation in this area, right? So we just need to figure out how to do this. And the finances is the biggest part of this right now. But we've seen this coming a long time, right? But from my perspective, I will say, I think we will all stick together as a family. Whether it's here or not, I don't know that for sure. I think we can figure that. I think it can be that way, but it doesn't really matter. We can all just go, like I can look at all the things that are on the table. We figure out how to stay here. Someone else joins us. We move to some other churches as an equal, as Marpole. We go somewhere else together, whether it's St. Stephen's or there's lots of possibility. I think our relationship with those guys is great, so we can make that work. But I can still see on all the things that are possible, we're all going to be together. It's just going to be a question of where we're going to be together. That's how this is going to work out. And of course, we want to stay here, but that may or may not work. I think there's a high chance we can make this work, but we don't know that yet.
I'm interested in knowing, because this is not about, Greg and John and I have met and talked. We're not interested in imposing anything on you that you're not interested in. And it's not just about what we want and our own interests, it's about what are you sensing? Like, is the Spirit getting your attention for something? Is there something that's kind of gnawing at you about this? And one of the things I keep wondering about is how you would feel or react to a deepening of the, commingling is the right word, bringing together more the infrastructure of the church, right? So instead of, well, they have, St. Stephen's has this set of meetings, we have these committees, and then we bring these two together. Bring the whole structure together so that all the finances are together. Nobody gives any more to Marpole or St. Stephen's. You give to Marpole St. Stephen's or Firelight United Church, whatever you want to call it. And so then there are fewer efforts, fewer human hours need to go into doing the work of those kinds of things, and more hours can go into building up the community of faith. It's really interesting, Joyce, I appreciate you being honest, because you named the elephant in the living room, right? Whenever anybody's got the guts to name the buildings and the property, that's the equivalent of naming the elephant in the living room, because nobody wants to touch it and nobody wants to talk about it generally. In the table talks, both here and at St. Stephen's, I expected a little bit of drawing a line in the sand when it came to properties. There was none of that. There was consensus across both groups that at this point in your life as a church, at this point in St. Stephen's life as a church, you are saying the same thing, which is we care about the state of our souls and our faith more than we care about the building. It's not that you don't care about this property, it's there is in fact something more. So my hope is whatever it is decisions get made, you and St. Stephen's will both have sacrificed something, both of you, and both of you will have gained something in that. That's what I hope for, because I'm still a believer. And like our youth said, you know, it's hope is our superpower, right? So does that make sense? So give me your feedback. How would you feel about no longer just writing a check to Marpole, but it all goes in the same place and our whole administrative life becomes one? How would you feel about that? And I'm quite okay if you say to me, no way.
I guess for me, would I have to be rebaptized?
No. Baptism is once and forever. And there's a period there, by the way. Churches that tell you you need to be rebaptized, I'm sorry, my blessed brothers and sisters who believe that, we don't. We don't. You're baptized once and forever. The question of membership is different.
Oh, that's
So when the guys went through their confirmation class, they were already members of the church, but they in fact reaffirmed the faith that was declared for them at their baptism, and they claimed it as adults, and that puts them on the formal membership list. Okay? So there's a difference.
Yeah, and I guess mine really meant membership, not baptism. So I would no longer be a member of Marpole United.
You keep your
Church.
Membership of Marpole United until such time as you decide if you want to. I'm not asking you.
No.
But if you want to, do the A word. Amalgamate or become one or whatever you want to call it. I don't like that word because it's just loaded with baggage. But if you did, you can put your administrative life together as one without amalgamating. But again, you know, if you do that, that puts you on the road to something that says something new is trying to happen here. And we haven't got a name for it yet. And it hasn't looked like a formal amalgamation. But what I can tell you is it's happening all across the country. My friends who are doing interim ministry in the maritime provinces in Newfoundland, in Manitoba, all the way across, are doing the same work that we're doing. Communities are finding each other, discovering the second cousins, right? Coming together as family, and then they're saying, why didn't we do this sooner? And when they do that, then they say, well, we could make this a little simpler too, couldn't we? Bringing some things together. And what's happening is trying to go with something that's emerging that's not looking exactly like it used to in formal amalgamations. So that's what's going on. So you're part of that, I think, a wider spirit-filled movement. So for me, the church is not dying. The church is being reshaped and reformed, and it's being grounded again in the people who understand church to be people. Oh, I keep
I have to be able to play at 2 o'clock, so we're.
I stopped.
Yeah. the other thing I should add, I can see us staying together as family, and I can see us doing something with St. Stephen's. Those are the two things that I'm clear about. That if you got, yeah, second cousins, I think it's more than that to me, but they're in the same situation as us. They have more cash than us, but they're in the same sort of, they're exactly the same situation. They're about a year and a half behind us, being forced to make that decision is where they're at. So we're going to have further meetings. We're going to have
one more meeting, and I'm going to invite the chair of the board from St. Stephen's and the co-chairs of the council here to put a proposal together for you that you will vote on. Right? So we're not going to kind of sit around and all make it up together. You'll have something to work with, but then we'll have to make decisions.
But we could have another meeting if we want to just talk about it as
That's
a group.
right.
I think that I think we would still need, I can see 2 meetings in my head, because we need to sit and talk as a family about where we're going.
Good.
Do we have any other questions right now? Would someone like to, do we have someone who would like to move adjourning the meeting?
Oh, that means we want to stay. Oh,
Sherry. All right, Sherry. Do we have anyone that would second us ending this meeting? All right, Robert. All in favor of adjourning the meeting? All right, we've done it. Carried. Thank you, everybody. See you next Sunday. What? Oh, closing prayer.
Please, would you rise with me as you're able, and, you know, keep some distance from one another, but kind of close the circle a little bit. Right? And remember, you know, next week is St. Stephen's. You'll be invited to join with them as well. And, you know, my friends, go from this place trusting God's Spirit. She's up to something wonderful with you, with us, and with all the world. And let's align with her in those efforts. Be at peace, for God is with you now, in your head, in your heart, on your left, and on your right. Thanks be to God. And on your way out the door, before you go, let's together give our gratitude through applause to Irene, who provides prayerful music for us every single Sunday. Thank you.
Thank you guys for joining us online. See you guys all next Sunday.